Slavery, as we understand it, as the world describes it, we think about slavery totally different than what it talks about in the Word of God. That we think about slavery, we think about around the 1600s, 1619, 1620, there were slaves that were brought over from other nations, African nations first off, and they arrived in Virginia. Many of them had been kidnapped, they'd been chained, they'd been forced into hard labor, terrible, unfit conditions, all the things that we read about. They are not just stories that really happened. That's what, when we think about this whole concept of slavery, that is the picture that conjures up in our thinking. But just like adoption is different biblically, then so is slavery. In the Roman days, there were agreements like employment contracts, and people would hire themselves out into slavery. They would sell themselves into slavery in order to pay debt off. They were many times they were hard workers. Many times they were educators. They were personal advisors, and they were legally a part of the family. That's what happened when they talk about slavery. That's why it's hard to read sometimes about the areas of slavery here, because we get this picture of being ill-treated and all of the. Now, I'm not saying that there were times in the Word of God when slavery was taken to the nth degree and they weren't treated properly, but there were laws governing those things, so that there were legal penalties for mistreating slaves. Many times they lived in the home with the family. And that's the picture that we see here. When Jesus is talking to the Pharisees here, let's just start in verse 31 of John chapter 8.